Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I think I want to talk about the potential of a new Space Marine Codex, because if you haven't been following the Space Marine line recently, we've had a lot of models that have been added to the Force but are not actually in the Codex. So we've had box sets, we've even had stuff like rules from different magazines and stuff like that. So I just want to talk about it and maybe talk potential of like a date, around a certain date when we think we'll get a new Space Marine Codex. So let's jump in and let's get started. I have to say, as an Imperial player, well, as a Space Marine player, I should say, more than anything, we are quite lucky. We are very, very lucky at the moment. I do feel for you other races that haven't received something in some time, but I can't really feel sorry for that much, since I am all about that Space Marine boy. But at the moment, we've had a lot of love. Like over the past year, let's say just this year that's more or less just gone so far. We've had a new box set. We've had the Shadow Spear box set. We've had stuff like the White Dwarf. We've had like exclusive Primaris Lieutenant event models. I think all the event models going back the last couple of years have been Space Marine exclusive. I know the next one is actually going to be a Space Marine. It's like a librarian, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's actually a classic Marine librarian as well. And what I mean by classic Marine, I mean like non-Primaris. That's what I mean by that. So our Codex was the first to come out with 8th edition, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure it was ours then. Was it Death Guard or like Thousand Suns or something like that? But I definitely know ours was like the first, because I remember all the Chaos players raging, because at the time there was like a big kind of global event with Space Marines versus like Death Guard, and we had like all the traits and stratagems and stuff like that, and they were just like working off like the index of starters, and we completely rolled them. Space Marines were good for like a month, and then they took that away from us. So yes, that's what we had for that month. We were good in that time. Now since then, there's been some stuff added into the game. So let's just try and label all this. I'm doing this on my fingers, so please bear with me. We've had the Shadow Spear box set. So in the Shadow Spear box set, you have a Phobos Pattern Captain, a Phobos Pattern Lieutenant, you have the Suppressors, you have the Infiltrators, you have something else. I'm trying to think. It's just like the normal, the normal stealthy guys. Help me out in the comment section. It's completely gone out my head. So you have all those guys. And then added to that, you actually have the new tank. They've just announced that Warhammer Fest. If no one's seen that, the new big Dakar tank. It has transport capabilities as well, which I think is wrong, but hey, we can do that argument another day. You have the Forge Father for the Iron Hands as well. That's been introduced, and I definitely think that we're going to get more Primaris character models, more Primaris name character models. And what I mean by a name character model, I mean like someone famous in the lore. Now I'm just saying this for example. I'm not saying this is happening, but for example, Captain Chaos Acarius, I can definitely see him getting the Primaris treatment and being Primarisified, just like Calgar has done. I see other characters in other chapters. I would personally love to see Grimaldis, Helbrecht. Lysander would be pretty cool to see in Primaris form. I wonder what kind of armor would they give him if they Primarisified that guy. Would they give him Gravis armor, or would they then come in and design like Terminator armor for Primaris? But then again, that's the whole debate. Is Gravis armor the Primaris Terminator armor? Again, we'll get in that into another video, but it'd be really cool to see some Imperial Fist characters have their upgrades. So back to the point, we actually are now starting to see Primaris characters, so like the Forge Father. So all these people at the moment are gotta have rules. And sorry, all these people on the vehicles and stuff like that at the moment, I gotta have rules that are actually outside the Space Marine Codex. Now, the problem with this at the moment, for me as a Space Marine player, is that there's just too much content that is outside of the Space Marine Codex. Like, for example, if I want to take Crimson Fists, I have to get the White Dwarf, I have to get the Vigilus stuff, I have to get the Space Marine Codex, I have to get the the main rule book, maybe some of the chapter approved stuff as well. You're talking like between 4 to 6 books taking it just to play one Space Marine faction. So I really hope that this year, before the end of the year, let's say, that we will have our Space Marine Codex. Or should I say like a new Space Marine Codex? I meant not like a new codex, we've already got a codex. A new Space Marine Codex. I'm actually wondering if they're going to start doing stuff like what they've done with the Chaos Space Marine Codex. Recently, they just had a release of their codex, but theirs was Chaos Codex 2.0 with like stuff added into it. So I'm thinking, is that what they're planning to do now until like new editions came out? So for example, if through 8th edition, say there's 3 Space Marine Codexes, the edition lasts that long, are we going to have like the normal Space Marine Codex, then 2.0, then 3.0 versions of that same book and stuff like that? I'm wondering if that is their mindset in this whole process. Now, it should be very interesting if they do, but we definitely need our stuff very, very fastly, because like I said, there's just too much stuff outside of the bloody book now. For me, in an absolutely ideal world, I would love the Codex to drop this summer. But I would love to let it drop around something big, like a big event. And the only big event I can really think of, like a coming campaign, is something like Armageddon. And if they do it like around Armageddon, then like I said, you can kind of primarisify some of the known lore characters if they want to do that, like Grimaldis, Helbrecht, and all that kind of stuff. But again, that's probably another subject for another time. But as a Space Marine player at the moment, I do feel like I'm carrying a lot of baggage with me. I am carrying a lot of baggage when I come to actually do my forces. I know I'm only playing Imperial Fists or Executioners, but sometimes I do like to proxy them as Crimson Fists, because they do get... I think Crimson Fists actually are probably the best chapter to take as a Son of Dawn, because you get, more Warlord traits, more relics and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes I just love to proxy my stuff, but it's just becoming a pain to carry everything around. It really is. I'm looking at my desk now, looking at all my books stacked up. I've got the White Dwarfs, I've got the rule books, I've got the Space Marine Codex, I've got the chapter approved. It's like, oh my holy emperor. I just want to take one book. I just want to take one book and have a little bit of fun, not break my back every time I want to play the bloody game. Now, as I mentioned before, I would personally love new people to be added. I would love new Primaris characters to be added. But I'd also like vehicles to be added into this as well. I know we've just had the new Primaris tank, but apparently someone told me from the event, they were speaking to one of the designers. Again, this is not confirmed at all, so please don't take this for like 100% proof. They basically said that this Primaris tank, this new one with the big massive cannon that's coming out, was designed at the same time as the Repulsor tank, and it was just being given the okay just to release now. So I'm wondering if they've got a lot more stuff that they designed at the initial induction of the Primaris, like certain different marks of like heavy armor, like we discussed before about the Terminator versus the Gravis. Do Primaris get a version of Terminator armor? Because the problem with Gravis armor at the moment and stuff like that is that you can't deep strike it in or anything. You just deploy it like it's like a normal troop and stuff like that. So does that really count as like heavy Terminator armor? There's so much we can go into this. There's stuff like las cannons and grav cannons and I was going to say plasma cannons, but really we have the hell blasters for plasma, like heavy bolters. Again, you can argue that the Boltstorm gauntlets are really heavy bolters, but there is some heavy weapon options missing from the Primaris that I would personally like them to be added. But a lot of people say, well, if you add them, then it's more or less the end of the classical Marine range. I don't think so, because I always think the classical Marines are always going to have their capabilities when it comes to certain situations on the battlefield and stuff like that. So I don't think if you like give like las cannons to Primaris, it means like the las cannons for the classical Marines are just worthless now. I don't think about that at all. Just to quickly sum it up, is that we definitely need a Space Marine Codex to come very, very soon. It's just a pain carrying all this stuff around now outside of the box, just because all this stuff got published. So the sooner the better. Hopefully this summer, and hopefully if it does come this summer, or hopefully comes this year, then we will actually get some new toys with it as well. I know the Repulsor tank is coming, the Executioner tank it's called. I'm still holding out for a flyer. I'm still holding out for Primaris, like jet bikes and stuff like that. I can probably do another video about what Primaris stuff I would love. Maybe I'll do that sometime in the future. But just for now, please just give us a codex. Let us just have those units added, and hopefully a few more chapters fleshed out in there as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any thoughts or feedback at all about what you would like to have in the new Space Marine Codex, do you think we deserve a Space Marine Codex? Do you think we should wait till the next cycle of like 9th edition or anything like that? Tell me your thoughts and feedback as always on the video. It's always nice hearing from you and having a nice little chat in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you now, and bye-bye.